The dawn of a new BTS era. Why Taehyung's return signals a turning point. As 2025 moves toward its final weeks, the global entertainment industry is buzzing with one of the biggest updates in K-pop. BTS has officially completed the recording of their full group album, marking their first collective project since their military enlistment. Among the most celebrated members in the spotlight is Taehyung, V, whose individual career throughout 2023-2025 prepared him for what many expect to be BTS's most influential comeback yet. Taehyung's return to group activities is more than a reunion, it is a cultural reset. His solo achievements, brand partnerships, and global impact have elevated not only his presence, but also expectations for what BTS will present to the world in 2026. Fans worldwide describe this album as the rebirth of the legends. Music critics call it a historic moment in the post-enlistment K-pop era. Taehyung's solo foundation, how Layover set the tone for the new album. Before diving back into group activities, Taehyung created an artistic identity that resonated differently from traditional K-pop styles. His debut solo album, Layover, with its jazz soul themes, minimalistic aesthetics, and introspective storytelling, became the blueprint of his artistic maturity. Despite being released before his enlistment, Layover continued charting globally through 2024 and 2025, showing rare longevity. This natural resonance shaped fan expectations. More Taehyung-composed tracks in the BTS album, more soulful vocals and emotional depth, more artistic influence from his jazz and retro sound identity. Industry insiders report that Taehyung contributed significantly to the creative aspects of the group album, bringing his matured tone, expressive control, and poetic storytelling. His vocal progression from Love Me Again to his more recent live performances proves how much he has grown. The emotional impact of Taehyung's surprise performances. When Taehyung appeared at Jin's encore concert performing Love Me Again, social media platforms exploded instantly. Fans called it the return of a king, not only because of his presence, but because of the symbolism behind his performance. A completed military service, a new chapter with BTS, a silent confirmation that the group album was progressing. The raw emotion in Taehyung's voice signaled that he was ready, fully and passionately, to rejoin his members. Analysts believe this performance reignited global anticipation for BTS's return more than any press announcement could. BTS in the studio, how Taehyung influenced the sound direction. After Jimin and Taehyung personally confirmed on Weverse Live that the recording of the group's full album was finished, fans began speculating about the sound and style. Experts believe Taehyung's influence appears in dreamy R&B vocal layering, soul and lo-fi inspired bridges, emotional ballad components, retro-influenced vocal textures, smooth harmonization reminiscent of Singularity. Producers who previously worked with BTS hinted that this album will be the most sonically mature BTS project ever created. With Taehyung's voice now richer, deeper, and technically more refined after his solo era, his presence is expected to be one of the defining elements of the album. The industry shifts. Why BTS's 2026 comeback matters globally. BTS's comeback is not just a musical event, it is a structural shift in the entertainment industry. Between 2023 and 2025, K-pop album sales surged, labels adjusted strategy expecting BTS's return, media companies prepared for record-breaking streaming numbers. Taehyung, being one of the most searched idols globally in 2025, became a key indicator of market interest. Whenever he appeared, whether at fashion events, tier promotions, or live broadcasts, K-pop's global discourse shifted instantly. Analysts project that BTS's comeback will generate one of the largest economic spikes in K-pop history, potentially exceeding previous album eras like Map of the Soul, 7. Taehyung's rising power in fashion and branding. Over the last year, Taehyung solidified his identity as a global fashion and beauty icon. His ambassadorship with Tear, one of the Korea's fastest-growing beauty brands, expanded his influence beyond music. His Los Angeles event, combined with massive fan participation, proved that his star power remains unmatched. Fashion outlets describe him as an artist who shapes aesthetic culture, a face that merges classic and modern beauty, the icon of quiet luxury. This energy and visibility will inevitably fuel the hype surrounding BTS's upcoming album promotions. How fans react worldwide. A storm of anticipation. The announcement that BTS had completed their album recording instantly became global news. On platforms like X, Twitter, TikTok, and Weverse, #BTS Comeback 2026 trended worldwide. Fan theories exploded. Expectations for a new tour skyrocketed. Taehyung's involvement, in particular, became a central discussion point. Fans highlighted how his unique tone brings emotional cohesion to BTS songs, especially in genres like R&B, ballads, and atmospheric tracks. The cultural meaning of BTS's reunion, a symbol of resilience. The group's reunion album represents more than just music. It is a symbol of unity, perseverance, and brotherhood. The members went through military service, solo careers, global scrutiny, and shifting industry tides. Taehyung's journey, from acting projects to jazz-inspired music, military duty, and fashion, showcases how each member returns stronger and more inspired. This new album is expected to reflect themes of maturity, reconnection, personal growth, and the passing of time. What this album means for BTS's future. This album is widely believed to be the beginning of BTS's second chapter as a full team. Taehyung's artistry will likely play a bigger role than ever. Many expect more songwriting credits, more creative direction, and more vocal experimentation from him. The 2026 era may bring a world tour, a global showcase, festival appearances, and perhaps new documentary content. Experts predict that this comeback will surpass even their previous milestones, fueled by the emotional weight of reunion and longing. Looking ahead, the Taehyung factor in BTS's new age. As BTS prepares for one of the most anticipated comebacks in music history, Taehyung stands as one of the strongest pillars of the group's renewed identity. His influence in music, beauty, and culture provides a new dimension to BTS's artistry. The world now waits for his vocal highlights, his visual storytelling, his live performances, and his creative contributions. One thing is clear: when Taehyung steps back onto the world stage with BTS in 2026, it won't just be a comeback. It will be a global cultural moment. Behind the scenes, how Taehyung's creative vision shapes BTS's 2026 album. While the news of BTS completing their full group album has already shaken the music world, what remains unseen is the enormous amount of creative energy the members, especially Taehyung, poured into the studio sessions. Insiders describe Taehyung as one of the most emotionally intuitive members during the recording process, contributing not only vocals, but also discussions on moods, textures, and emotional direction. Producers who participated in the album sessions shared that Taehyung's approach during recording was deeply artistic. He often emphasized the importance of atmosphere in a track, how a song should feel before worrying about how it should sound. This aligns with the musical identity he explored in Layover, where subtlety and emotional color became core elements. It's reported that Taehyung advocated for more live instruments, softer transitions, and warm tones, believing that BTS's storytelling in 2026 should reflect maturity and growth, rather than returning to old formulas.
His contributions allegedly shaped at least several tracks, influencing vocal arrangement choices, harmonization structure, aesthetic direction of slower songs, and the emotional tone of the album's central message. Industry experts believe that Taehyung's maturity musically and personally has become one of the catalysts pushing BTS toward a sound that is richer, more soulful, and more globally resonant than ever before. The evolution of Taehyung's voice, a pillar of BTS's new sound. As BTS enters their 2026 chapter, one of the most remarkable transformations noticed by fans and vocal experts alike is the evolution of Taehyung's voice. Already known for his baritone depth and unique timbre, his vocals have matured to an exceptional degree after years of solo work, military service conditioning, and emotional growth. During Layover, his vocal identity was defined by a soft, velvety resonance that blended jazz, soul, and R&B. But in recent live performances, such as his surprise appearance at Jin's encore concert, fans noticed something striking. His voice had become richer, fuller, and more emotionally textured. Music specialists describe Taehyung's new vocal tone as more grounded due to better breath support, wider in dynamic range, capable of deeper lows and smoother highs, more expressive, using microphrasing and delicate vibrato, more emotional, shaped by life experience and maturity. These improvements have major implications for the upcoming BTS album. Producers behind the scenes suggested that Taehyung's vocal growth allowed the group to experiment with new harmonization patterns, particularly in songs with emotional depth and atmospheric tone. His voice reportedly serves as a bridge between the members, adding warmth in the middle range and grounding the group's signature sound. Moreover, Taehyung's enhanced control enables him to contribute to more challenging melodic lines, giving BTS's 2026 album a vocal richness that fans have rarely heard before. His artistic evolution is not only personal growth, but also a defining force shaping the direction of BTS's new music era. Global expectations. Why is Taehyung considered the ace of BTS's 2026 comeback? As the world anticipates BTS's monumental return, international media outlets have repeatedly highlighted Taehyung as one of the central driving forces behind the group's upcoming success. His solo career, unmatched popularity, and cross-industry influence across music, fashion, and beauty have positioned him as a defining figure, not only within BTS, but also within the global entertainment landscape.